When you think about powerful AI, you probably imagine these giant companies, right? Massive budgets, huge data centers, the whole nine yards. But what if I told you that one developer, just working on a side project, built a really capable AI voice model for less than what you'd spend on a nice dinner? So how is that even possible? Let's dig into the story of Sopro TTS because it gives us a fascinating peek at where AI is really heading.
And this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have the big AI playbook, massive corporate backing, gigantic private data sets, and computer clusters that cost millions of dollars. And then, on the other side, you've got Sopro TTS, built by one person using public data for under $100. It is a classic David versus Goliath story, but for the world of artificial intelligence.
All right, so let's properly meet the star of our show. And remember, this didn't come out of some huge fancy research lab. Nope. This is all the result of one person's passion and cleverness.
So what is Sopro TTS exactly? Well, it's an open source model that takes text and turns it into spoken English. It was created by Samuel Vitorino, literally as a personal project. And I love this little detail. He named it Sopro, which is the Portuguese word for breath. How perfect is that for a voice model?
Now look at this number. Just let that sink in for a second. $100. In a field where training a single big model can cost millions, this number it's just mind-blowing. And this was all done on a single GPU, which is proof you do not need a supercomputer to do some seriously cool innovation. The model itself has 135 million parameters. Now I know, in any other context, 135 million sounds like a ton. But in the world of modern AI, where models have billions or even trillions of parameters, this is actually considered incredibly lightweight. It's built to be lean and efficient.
And this right here, this is one of its superpowers. A real-time factor of 0.05. What does that actually mean? It means it generates audio about 20 times faster than it takes to listen to it. So a 30-second audio clip gets created in less than 2 seconds. And here's the kicker. It does this on a standard CPU. You don't need a fancy, expensive graphics card to run it.
So let's just do a quick run-through of the specs that make this thing so impressive. It can stream audio with very little delay, which is absolutely crucial for real-time apps. It can also clone a voice it has never, ever heard before. That's what we call zero shot. And it only needs a tiny 3 to 12 second clip to do it. And for you tech folks out there, it uses a pretty unconventional design based on dilated convolutions, not the typical transformer model that you see pretty much everywhere these days.
So, the specs on paper are amazing for a $100 project. But how does it actually sound in the real world? All right, let's put it to the test. Okay, first up, the ideal scenario. The model got a clean, high-quality recording of a voice to copy and then a really simple sentence to generate. And the result? You know what? It works pretty well. With a good audio source and a short sentence, the voice clone was a success and the output was totally clear. So for a simple task, it passed with flying colors.
But of course, life isn't always ideal, is it? So the second test used a much more challenging piece of audio, the kind of quality you might get from, say, a regular laptop microphone.
And yeah, this is where the cracks start to show. The source material called the voice cloning terrible and said the speech synthesis was not good enough. It even messed up the words, mispronouncing open source. So the big lesson here is pretty clear. Garbage in, garbage out. The quality of the audio you feed it matters a lot.
So we've seen it succeed and we've seen it stumble. Let's kind of pull all of that together and get a clear, balanced look at what this model can and, well, can't do.
This table really sums it up perfectly. On the one hand, the promise is huge. It's incredibly fast, super accessible, and unbelievably cheap. This really opens the door for individual developers everywhere. But on the other hand, the pitfalls are real. The results can be inconsistent, the voice cloning is a bit of a gamble, it really does not like low-quality audio, and it's limited to generating pretty short clips.
And you have to respect the creator's honesty here. Samuel Vitorino himself says it's not soda or state-of-the-art. He knows it has limits, but he's totally and rightfully proud of creating a cool, working project on an absolute shoestring budget. It's all about managing expectations.
Okay, so it's a neat project, has some flaws, we get it. But why are we even talking about it? Well, because Sopro TTS represents something much, much bigger than just one model.
This is the core takeaway. For years, the ability to build meaningful AI tools was basically locked behind corporate walls. You needed massive resources. Sopro TTS is proof that that's just not true anymore. The entire playing field is changing.
So what are the big things to remember here? First, regular people, individuals, are now empowered to build and share AI that actually works. Second, this is just speeding up innovation in the open source world like crazy. And third, it proves that a tiny budget can still lead to some seriously impressive results. This isn't just about the tech itself, it's about inspiring other people to go out and build the next cool thing. And that leaves us with this one final thought. We've just seen what one passionate developer can pull off with $100 and some public data. It really makes you wonder, with these barriers just falling away, what happens when thousands more people follow in his footsteps? What incredible new tools and innovations are sitting just around the corner? That's something to think about.